Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the scriptures. Among other things, and salutation to all Akim across the earth for doing this work, is the city and the truth. Shalom. So this video I'm going to go into an article that I stumbled upon, and it's about the so-called royal family of Holland, the Oranges. And so basically the article is going about the peasant king Willem-Alexander, that he wants to investigate. Yeah, he also said that he wants to investigate what part his family had to do concerning slavery, which is kind of funny because they have the golden couch. They got their golden couch, and even on there are paintings of with slaves on it. And years ago, I remember years ago, one dude, he spoke about it, and basically they just let it simmer down. You know, they silence it, so nobody ever actually even spoke about it. As soon as somebody speak about it, then they block it from the media. You know. So there, yeah, and you even had a picture. You have a picture there. You see a slave hanging on a hook, and they put that hook beneath the fifth rib. You know, like a big fishing hook, and then they hang him on a tree. And if he lives, he lives. If he dies, he dies. And that's something that they used to do in Suriname. And Suriname was also a colonial, used to be a colonial of the Dutch people. And these Dutch people are very special. Yeah, I keep on saying it, but you know, there's more. I already knew that they are special, so they're gonna get a special punishment, you know, when Yahweh Shai is coming back. But I already knew it. But there's more and more stuff about them coming out, because one of the brothers posted a video clip, and it was on TikTok. And you can search for it if you want. I don't know the title of it, but it got something. It was about the original of the why Wall Street is called Wall Street. And this kind of thing is like back in the days, a part of it was New Amsterdam. So that's where the Dutch people were, and the other side was a side where the slaves were free, and where you had the natives also, where they were protected. You know, I believe it was already New York or something like. I'm not sure, but and they had a wall there to protect the slaves who were free from the Dutch people, because they used to go there and just slaughter them, you know. That's what they used to do. So when I saw that clip, I'm like, yeah, man, they were very brutal. Against Jacob, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and the so-called Indianos, they were very brutal, man. They were very brutal. So they went there and slaughtered. And I already mentioned in my videos that they went on further with slavery. They were the first ones who brought slaves from the west coast of Africa to America, you know. So the first and the last, you know. So they're very special. So let me just go in this article. So it's from Sunday. The colonial past of the Oranges, they were involved by and through King Willem-Alexander have research carried out the role of his family, the Van Oranje-Nassau family, in the colonial past. Then it's is the period from the end of the 16th century to the present. But what known anyway? The fact that the Oranges were involved in the colonial domination in both the East, former Dutch Indies, and the West, Suriname and the Caribbean islands, is known. Old Professor Gert Oost-Indië, Leiden Universiteit, who the investigation will carry out, did it itself earlier research and publishes its findings in the book The Pearls and the Crown. There's no doubt that they were involved in that colonial historic, true, but to what extent they were really active, we don't really know that. What if there is a lot of money to that colonial property? Of course, you know how much money Holland made with slavery and all that. They had also in Indonesia, that area, they also had it over there, you know. So they made a lot of money with people, with products, all kinds of stuff, and robbing on the sea, you know. So yeah. What if there's a lot of money to that colonial property? Not clear either. These are therefore important questions to which the research must be answers. Willem the Five. The ancestors of King Willem Alexander were one of the absolute elite of the country and had leading positions in both the United East Indian Company (VOC) and in the West Indian Company (WEC). The VOC and the company WIC. This began with the grandson of Willem van Oranje's brother Johan Maurits van Nassau, uh, was governor of the Dutch Brazil from 1636 onwards. There were big sugarcane plantations there. And also another thing, the oranges from original were dark skinned people because Jake used to rule here before. You know, all these castles that we have here in Holland, they were from how you said it? They belonged to the Moors back then. These Edomites cannot build castles, man. They like to portray themselves in those old schools movies like knights and stuff. They no, man. They were in the caves, man. Mm, in order to have enough workers, the slave reported El Mina on the coast of Ghana was conquered on the Portuguese. From that moment, the WIC crashed into the transatlantic slave trade. City holder Willem V, during the 18th century, city holder Willem IV, 1711 till 1751, and his successor Willem V, 1747 till 1806, were both commander of the WIC. Willem V, even of the VOC, they were often not present at the meetings themselves, but were represented by their advisors, selected by the advisors. There's a painting where they say this picture. They say that Willem V was there with a meaning with the WIC. One of them was Thomas Hope. He held a high function within the WIC on behalf of Willem IV and Willem V. He was also banker of Hope and Co. and precursor of ABN AMRO. Yeah, the bank had a research into his own involvement in the slave trade and offered for this early year apology on. Pepijn Brandon, we don't want your apology, man. We're gonna own you, man. Jouw rattenzaad's gonna be soon. Pepijn Brandon was one of the researchers and also found reference to the city parents in the WIC archives. If the benefits to the shareholders was too minimal in their eyes, they would put their main board member, city holder Willem V, in the fight because the pleasure for the highness is also too low. The benefits must be upwarded. Like a lot of nobility during that period, the Oranges also had black servants. These usually men can be seen back on paintings that made noble families of themselves. A painting by city holder Willem III shows a black man in the city hall of Vera. Research has shown that this man often accompanied the city holder to dinner. And you see that clothing style? That's Moorish, man. That's Moorish. And yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, man. It was a sign of prestigious, says Esther Schreuder, who wrote a book about Cupido and Cideron, two black boys who had been presented to the city enter Willem V. In first instance, they had to be seen, and it wouldn't surprise me if they would had have been raping those boys, because that's until this day that's what these Edomites like, especially so-called foreign boys, they even touch their own children, man. Sick bastards. uh, Let me see. In first instance, they had to be seen. It had something royal, dark people at the court. That's what you showed, that you had ties to the whole world. in the 19th centuries when the slavery in the 19th centuries when the Netherlands becomes a monarchy, the Oranges keep a solid finger in the colonial debt. After the conquest of King Willem I, 77 to 1843, he had in the cultural system 1830 to perform forced labor for the Dutch government. After the constitutional amendment of 1848, in which the parliament restricted the power of the king, the criticism of this grew and the culture system was abolished around 1870. 7 years earlier, under King Willem III, 1817-1890, was an end to slavery. But the Dutch colonial regime in the East and the West lasted until the 20th century. Even over that period, the historians like Brandon Don asked, to what extent did the Oranges continue to invest in those colonial companies from private companies to the royal shell? Aha. Publish all. In order to do research, the committee under the leadership of the Oost Indie will have to access to documents from the Royal House archives. That archive is only visible with the king's consent. Brandon says there's a job for the researchers here. As long as conclusions are not traceable for other researchers, you cannot speak of a significant conclusion. Oost Indies bears this. What we have agreed now is that we can publish everything we find. We still need to make an arrangement on the accessibility of the archive for the other researchers for possible review. The investigation is going to take about 3 years. So yeah. So as you can see, if you are in the truth, as you can see, the queendom, this precious queendom of Esau is going down, and he's going down. He's being revealed. All his wickedness is coming to the light. So these are all signs that he's about to go. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. For there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Yeah, in due time, the Most High is bringing these things to the light. In due time, when it's time for this to come out, it will come out. And it's funny because, first they were, I've been saying for years that I knew that the Dutch were continuing the slavery for 10 years, and I believe like 2 years they admitted that they continued longer than other countries. And more and more things are coming to light by their own people, because we are not the ones who doing the investigations. No, it's all to the spirit of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, and he put the spirit on his own people to go investigate. And like now, the Willem Alexander said he wants to know what his family got to do with the slavery, how they were involved in this and that, yada yada yada. Why does he say that? Because there's no way around it. It's already there. So what he's doing is also damage control. Like, oh no, I'm also interested in it. So he's probably this Koenie rapper tycoon, rapper in Holland, so-called Suriname dude. Real ass kisser. So he was also emotional touched by the apology that the Prime Minister Kutte made, which is bullshit also, because he did it very clever in a way that there was no opening for asking for I called it for damn, I don't know how to call it, man. If you want to ask, there was no opening in it for slave descendants to ask for money, repatriation, or how do you call it? But and he wanted to say that he was very emotionally touched by the apology of Prime Minister Mark Rutte, and he also said that he couldn't wait on what the king is gonna say about it. Fucking coon, man. That's one of those people, 2/3 niggas that you wanna, man. Whatever, man. But let me see. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So his own people, the Most High put the Spirit on his own people to go and investigate and make clear what they've been doing. And I don't think that these people here in Holland realize, well, because they always used to, kind of diminish it. Don't be like this. Yeah, the book of, speak loftily concerning oppression. Let me grab the scripture. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Yeah, they always downgraded it. Like, yeah, it's long ago. It ain't that worse as you say that it was. This and that. Africans were selling Africans also. Blah, 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 blah. So all kind of stuff to make it. But, now more and more stuff is coming out from them. So like I said, it's very clear now. They were the first one who started and the last one who ended it. What more do you want to know? And for Curacao is a very great example because they had the French there, the Spaniards there, they had the English there, and the Dutch. So they knew the difference between the slave owners, and the Dutch were the worst. They were the worst. The things that they used to do with the people, it was cruel. They were very cruel. Even that clip, that where that dude was talking about Wall Street, that they had a wall there to protect the slaves who were free there. I believe it was Georgetown, I think it was Georgetown, and the other side was New Amsterdam. And the Dutch used to go there and slaughter the slaves and the natives over there, the slaves who were free, so-called Negroes and so-called Indianas, slaughter them, chop them off, chopping off limbs and stuff, this and that. So not killing a person in a normal manner, a quick death, no, slow death, chopping them up in pieces and stuff. Very bloodthirsty, these people. So yeah. They should already know what's waiting for them, above their head. So this is the book of Obadiah, and let me see, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searches out? How are his hid things sought up? Yeah, all to the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. While he is going down, all his wickedness is about to come to the light, more and more. And like I said before, these Dutch are very special. They are very special, and time is going to show us how special they are. Because there's, these last couple of months, there's a lot of stuff coming out concerning their wickedness, concerning during the slavery, man. This devil is the top of the concerning slavery. They I think they got a first place, man, concerning wickedness. The wickedness that they did, how they are involved in everything. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. So with that, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Sham Yahushai, Waharuka Kwadash, a double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all Akim across the earth for doing his work in sincerity and the truth. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.